I'm 98 years old, and the hardest thing I've learned is this. I didn't waste my life on the wrong things. I wasted it on the wrong people. I spent 73 years being good, being quiet, being easy to love. And now that I'm almost gone, I'm realizing something nobody warned me about. You can do everything right and still lose your life. My name is Dorothy Mae Williams. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama in 1927. Back when being a black woman in the South meant you learned really quick how to make yourself small, how to smile when you didn't mean something different. I spent 7 decades perfecting the art of disappearing, and now I'm sitting here trying to remember who I was before I learned to vanish. Let me tell you when it started. I was 6 years old, August 1933. My daddy had left 2 years before, just walked out and never came back. My mama was working 3 jobs, trying to keep us fed. One night I heard her crying in the kitchen. Not loud crying, the quiet kind that hurts worse. I made myself a promise that night. I promised I would never make my mama cry. I would be so good, so perfect, so easy, that she would never have another reason to be sad. That promise destroyed me. I became the good daughter. Never talked back. Never asked for anything. Never caused trouble. My mama used to brag about me at church. Dorothy never gives me a bit of trouble. That child is an angel. I wasn't an angel. I was terrified. Terrified that if I stopped being perfect, everyone would leave me like my daddy did. Here's what nobody tells you about living for other people. It works. People love you for it. They praise you. And that praise becomes a drug. You need more and more just to feel okay. So you keep shrinking yourself down until one day you can't remember what you actually want anymore. Let me tell you about James. I met him in 1946. I was 19, working at a laundromat. James had just come back from the war. We fell in love that summer. James wanted to move to Chicago. Had a cousin there who could get him a factory job. Good money. A chance to build something. I wanted to go. Lord, how I wanted to go. I dreamed about leaving Birmingham my whole life. But when James proposed in November, my mama said, Chicago? Baby, that's so far away. What am I going to do without you? She didn't say I couldn't go. She just looked at me with those tired eyes. And I remember that promise I made when I was 6. So I told James we had to stay. We got married in March 1947 and moved into a house 3 blocks from where I grew up. James never complained, not once in 43 years of marriage. But I killed something in him. I saw that light in his eyes when he talked about Chicago. Get dimmer every year until it just went out. James died in 1998 without ever seeing Chicago. And I did that to him. Not because I didn't love him, because I loved everyone else's needs more than I loved his dreams. That's what living for other people cost. It doesn't just cost you. It costs everyone around you. After James died, I thought maybe I could finally start living for myself. I was 71. My mama had been gone almost 20 years. But I didn't know how. I'd spent so long being what everyone needed that I had no idea what I actually wanted. My daughter Laverne asked me what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I couldn't answer. How do you know what you want when you've spent 71 years never asking yourself that question? Let me tell you about my friend Beatrice. We raised our babies together, sat together at church every Sunday for 50 years. She died in 2001, 3 years after James. Before she died, she was in the hospital, cancer eating through her. She grabbed my hand and said, "Dorothy, I spent my whole life trying to make everybody happy. My mama, my husband, my children, everybody. And you know what? Not a single one of them is lying here with me. When they leave, it's just me and all the things I never said, all the dreams I put in a box." She looked at me hard. "Don't you die wishing you'd lived your own life instead of the one everybody else wanted for you." Beatrice died 2 days later. I went home and thought about what she said, but I didn't change anything. I was 74, and I didn't know how. Here's the truth. Living for other people is lying. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you're lying. Every time you smile when you're hurting, you're lying. And the person you're lying to most is yourself. I lied to myself for 73 years. Told myself I was being selfless, being a good daughter, good wife, good mother. Told myself what I wanted didn't matter as much as what everyone else needed. But when you live for other people, you're not helping them. You're teaching them that love means erasing yourself. You're showing them their needs matter and yours don't. My daughter Laverne, she's just like me. Stayed in a marriage for 34 years to a man who didn't love her right because she didn't want to disappoint us. Worked a job she hated for 30 years. Never traveled. Never pursued her painting. Never did anything for herself. Last year she finally left him. Finally quit that job. And she said to me, "Mama, I learned this from you. I learned that what I want doesn't matter. I learned that a good woman disappears." That about killed me. I taught my daughter to live the way I lived. And now she's 69 years old, just starting to figure out who she is. I passed that poison down. That's what living for other people does. It destroys everyone you teach to do the same thing. Here's what I learned too late. The people who really love you don't want you to disappear. They don't want you to sacrifice yourself for their comfort. My mama never asked me to stay in Birmingham. She just said she'd miss me. And I turned that into a command. I made her feelings more important than my whole life. You know what she told me before she died in 1979? She called me to her hospital bed and said, "You should have gone to Chicago. You wanted to go, and you should have gone." I felt guilty about it every day since. All those years of sacrifice weren't even what she wanted. I made up a story in my head about what I had to do, and I lived that story for decades, and it wasn't even true. How many of you are doing that right now? Living for some version of what you think other people need. Making yourself smaller because of a story you made up. The people you're sacrificing for, most of them don't even notice. They don't see what it's costing you. And by the time they do, it's too late to get those years back. I'm not telling you to be selfish. I'm telling you that you matter too. Your dreams matter. Your wants matter. Your life matters just as much as everyone else's. When you sacrifice yourself, when you make yourself small, you're slowly killing the person God made you to be. And that's a sin. God made you to be a full person with your own thoughts and dreams. When you spend your life trying to be what other people want, you're rejecting the gift God gave you. I wasted 73 years. I'm not getting them back. James is gone. My mama is gone. Beatrice is gone. Most of the people I tried to please are all gone. And I'm still here at 98, trying to figure out what Dorothy Mae Williams actually wants. You still have time. If you're 30 or 40 or 50 or even 70, you still have time to stop living for other people and start living your own life. It's gonna be hard. People will be upset. They'll call you selfish. They'll say you've changed. Let them be upset. The people who really love you will figure it out. The ones who don't never loved you anyway. They loved what you did for them. Last year, my granddaughter Tamika came to visit. She's 42, got 3 kids. She sat at my table crying. Grandma, I don't know who I am. I'm a wife and mother and teacher, but I don't know who Tamika is. I've spent so long being what everyone needs that I don't know who I am when nobody's looking. I saw myself in her. 3 generations of women who learned to disappear. I told her, baby, you are not required to set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's survival. Tamika went home and told her husband she wanted to go back to school for her master's degree. Something she'd wanted for 10 years, but never mentioned because she assumed he'd say no. He didn't say no. He said, why didn't you tell me? Of course you should do it. She started classes last fall. And you know what? Her marriage got better. Her kids are fine. The world didn't fall apart. That's what I'm telling you. The disaster you think will happen if you start living for yourself probably won't happen. And if people can't handle you being a full person, they need to go. Stop waiting for permission to be yourself. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting until everyone else is comfortable. I waited 73 years. When I finally stopped, most of my life was over. You think you'll start living after this job? After the kids grow up? After retirement? But later never comes. Later is a lie you tell yourself, so you don't have to do the hard thing today. I'm 98. I could die tomorrow. And when I do, I'll die with regrets, wishing I'd been braver, wishing I'd said what I thought and wanted what I wanted, wishing I'd lived like Dorothy Mae Williams instead of whoever everyone else needed me to be. Don't die with those regrets. Your life belongs to you. Start today. Think about one thing you've been putting off, one dream you've been ignoring, one word you've been swallowing, one boundary you've been scared to set, and do it. Not tomorrow. Now. Every day you spend living for someone else is a day you're stealing from yourself. I stole 73 years. I gave them to people who didn't even ask for them. I made myself small for people who would have loved me just as much if I'd been big. Now I'm 98, just learning who Dorothy is, just learning what I like when nobody else is watching. It's too late for me to get those years back, but it's not too late for you. Your life is yours, the only one you'll get. Don't spend it being what everyone else wants. Be yourself. I'm sitting in my daughter's house in Atlanta, with maybe a few months left, and I'm spending what time I have trying to be myself for the first time. It's scary, but it's also the freest I've ever felt. Don't wait 98 years to feel free. Start now. Your life is waiting. The real you has been waiting a long time. Don't make her wait anymore. If this stirred something in you, please don't ignore it. Tell me in the comments, what part of yourself have you been shrinking to keep the peace? I'm near the end of my life, and I'm telling these stories because I don't want you to reach my age with the same regrets. Stay with me and subscribe.